Oh, so I did all of that muted. All right. So I'm going to do it again. I want to welcome everyone on this crazy Wednesday. Last week we asked you, or actually I think it was 2 weeks ago, we asked if you would be interested in finding out more about all of the techie stuff that's going on behind the scenes in our Speak Pros app, and you said yes. And so now we have Cris Micheli, our neuroscientist and bioengineer, on with us today to answer all of those questions. So welcome, Cris.
Thank you, Mai Ling, for having me. It's lovely to be in a live cast on Facebook. It's my first time, actually. So thanks for inviting me to this wonderful opportunity. So I'm happy to be here today, and I'm happy to answer the questions of the public if they have any. And I'm excited to be here.
Excellent. So I thought that I would have to really cram to understand all of the things that are going on in the background. And when I first started with Cognition, I said it was like being shot out of a cannon, because I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much to know, right? And then what I really realized is I don't need to know everything. I just need to know enough to be dangerous. And then I can ask the rest of my amazing team all these great questions. So thank you for being so patient with me, Cris.
No worries. I'm happy to answer the questions.
Okay, so my first question actually is, how did you get into this area of neuroscience and bioengineering, things like this?
This was a very interesting adventure for me. So I came from engineering in Italy, and at some point I got an opportunity in Germany to work on fetal technology, so with fetus and newborns. And
Wow.
I had an opportunity to study the brain of fetuses while they are in the womb.
Wow.
So that you can, kind of try to capture their thoughts while they're not born yet. So what's the boundary there between consciousness and non-consciousness? So that was an interesting topic to investigate.
That is incredible. Is this something that you came up yourself, like say in a thesis area, or is it something that you had found interest in?
Yeah, I found always interesting these kind of topics, but I didn't come up with myself. I was researching for an interesting topic online, and then I found a group that was really addressing this new neuroscience adventure topic, and it sounded really cool. So I applied to the same group that was researching in this field.
That is incredible. Okay, so did you do that work in Italy?
No, that was in Tübingen in Germany. It's in the south of Germany, near to Stuttgart. And it was a great experience because I had the opportunity also to study with a clinical environment, similarly as in Cognition. And that got me also to Little Rock, Arkansas, where there is the only machine at the time. Now there are two. There is one also in Germany that can acquire signals from the brain of fetuses.
Wow. And so did you meet, was it President Clinton? Didn't he come from Little Rock?
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that. There are a lot of Clinton monuments in Little Rock. So, no, I didn't meet with the president, but it was a great experience nonetheless.
That is incredible. Okay, so you're on this journey, you're doing this research and studying. How did you connect with Cognition, who is, they're based in Santa Barbara?
Yeah, so it's exactly, and Toronto, right? So
yes.
I had opportunity to be in research in Toronto already back in the times in 2012. So I had the opportunity to live for 1.5 years in this great city, and I know Cognition had an office there. So as a person working in brain-computer interfaces at the time, I was in the Netherlands. I got to know about Cognition. And also when the opportunity was there to get in touch with people, I grasped it, and it was in Asilomar near to Monterrey. So there was I believe in 2018, it was a conference about brain-computer interfaces, the official international conference. That's where I met the Cognition folks, and then we got to lunch together, we got to know each other, and then I got passionate about the mission, basically.
That's amazing. And the mission is to get access to communication for everyone. And that is why I'm involved with Cognition also. And I have had the absolute blessing of working with you now for 3 months, March, April, May, June, almost 3 months.
Yeah.
Yes. And when I first started, I was just so in awe of what you are doing. and where we're going with things. And so I know that we had to kind of discuss like what can we discuss, but there are things that are, it's just mind blowing what we're working on. So we're starting with the app, and I wonder, what is your participation in the Speak Pros app creation and Pro Plus, which is the eye tracking?
Yeah, that's great. So Speak Pros is an app that works on Apple technologies at the moment, and what it gives the opportunity to do is to empower people with disabilities to be able to speak again. So what is attractive for me about this mission is that you're bringing people that are not able to speak, basically, from a condition of having zero interfaces with the world or with the machines, for example, to have step further from 0 to 1 is an exponential growth, right? So when you see these people back to talk through the interface, you're very motivated after that. And it's a technological challenge, but also it's a user experience challenge and a human challenge. So it's a tough problem to solve. So that makes it interesting for technologists, but also very motivated because you're making an impact. So
Absolutely.
that's great reason to join Cognition for me.
I love that. And just going from your work, your earlier work with reading fetus brains, which is unbelievable. Like, I guess it's the energy or the, what they're, the movement, right? How does that bring you into your future work with Cognition?
Yeah, there was not such a leap as it might seem, because it has to do with technology and neuroscience. So I just experienced, ventured in neuroscience for 11 years in academia, and there is technology link between looking at brains in fetuses and looking at brains in adults with challenges. And I think we are all the same, and the brain matter that is behind a person with disability is the same as a fetus, and we have to bring it out there to the communication level. That's the kind of problem that we're solving.
And that actually brings me perfectly to the main topic of what we're doing. And it's the two questions that I'm going to ask you. The first one is, what's new? So what is new with what we're working on within Speak Pros Plus versions of the app?
Well, thanks that you asked. First of all, this Speak Pros app is a team effort. So, I'm sitting on the shores of giants together with the team, and we're working in natural language and facial expression recognition, for example, and lately also in eye tracking, so that's new. So we have features such as gesture recognition, and then lately neural brain signal recognition. So we are adopting a multimodal approach that is non-invasive, and it can be adopted by everybody, and it's empowering people to speak again, and has very, very different interfaces according to the special needs of anybody. So it's individualized. So that's kind of a new feature that is there now. So we want to bring the technology to humans and not the other way around.
Excellent. I just want to break this down a little bit because I know there's some words and vocabulary in there that I'm more used to now. But one of the biggest things that you just talked about was reading brain signals, and that it's non-invasive.
Yeah.
That, so important. We're not putting electrodes in the brain. We're reading the brain signals, and it just seems so abstract. Like, is this stuff that we need to be worried about in the future, that people are going to read our minds?
No, I think Cognition puts a lot of effort in security and privacy. But if you look outside, I would be more worried about, the physical barrier being violated. So invasive versus non-invasive is important as, a boundary. And of course, privacy of your data, this is, a very important point, and we really care about that.
Excellent, excellent. And you did bring up multimodal, and then Andreas made that point also in the comments just now, and that's really important. I'm so excited when I get to tell people that you can access this app by swiping, by doing a gesture, which I love showing people that you could just draw a check mark on the screen, right?
Yeah.
You can do things, you can draw a circle, and then you can express yourself at the sentence level or even a paragraph level. It's just incredible. And then also the the facial tracking is incredible. Is that something that you can talk about?
Yeah, absolutely. So facial tracking, so we leverage on this Apple technology that is true depth camera, and that allows to capture features in real time of your face, either the eye movements or your face mimics. And that can be used also to give clues to the software to accomplish actions. So if I do like this could be a command to click a mouse. And then we render that in specific human-computer interfaces commands that we transfer into commands. So the app is using speech generating interface. So the app has words that you can select from in the form of tiles on the screen. And then depending on certain modality, in this multimodal approach, certain modality that you choose to interact with the screen with, you can select your tiles or your preferred word that you want to say. And you can select it with your face, for example, or with your eye tracking.
Incredible. That actually brings me to the next topic, which is what is next. So we're really surprising people with, you know, the ways to access language within the SpeakPros app. What's next for Cognition?
Yeah, you can think about how to extend this multimodal interface to really anything that you want. So this opens a lot of opportunities to you know, individualize the specific interfaces that you want to, you know, characterize and customize for the customers. And you can think about, for example, head motions or muscle sensing or really EEG brain sensing. And you can use these input methods to facilitate your output. So it becomes an interactive interface, really, that is aware also of the context around the user. So you can make it context sensitive, for example. So you can create a dialogue and make the app, really, SpeakPros app, make it aware of the context in certain ways, and then add artificial intelligence to that to automatize the process to facilitate the user, basically, to facilitate the user to speak.
Interesting. So you said EEG, what is that?
EEG is electroencephalography. So it's the capture of scalp electrical waves that are generated inside the brain and then can be read out of this, you know, interface through amplifiers. So you can read out electro, you know, brain signals via capturing the electrical signals and then amplifying them on an external amplifier.
So that's where we're going, right?
Yeah, this is go on.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, this is the brain-computer interface part. It's going to be part of the multimodal approach, and this is yet another input modality. And then we want to leverage that also to allow certain categories of subjects to be able to speak.
Absolutely fascinating. Thank you so much, Cris, for coming on with me and kind of pulling back the curtain at Cognition and sharing the real science and techie part of what we've been doing and how we've been sharing. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Have a good rest of your day. Okay. Well, I wanted to thank you for joining us, and I'm going to bring this on here. Let's play with this. Check this out. Today's episode of AAC What's New, What's Next Facebook Live Chat has been brought to you by the SpeakPros app, offering an intuitive interface that allows people to express themselves using swipes, taps, and eye tracking technology. Find out more at speakpros.com, or you can contact me directly for a demo and to get professional access to SpeakPros Pro Plus. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.